What's up, guys? It's Tone Tons back with another KOL video. So today I want to do something a little bit different than I normally do and talk about the item of the month that we got this month, February. We got it yesterday. Say it's a joke because the item was incredibly late. We actually got it about a week or so back, and it's a new piece for the VIP lounge. And we actually get two different items this month because of that. We get that piece for the VIP lounge that actually the clan has to get, and it costs a few different Mr. accessories. And then, because of that, they give out the clan VIP invitation to everybody else who has the subscription, and that is now available in the Mr. Store. So, as a result, we have a bunch of people who now have VIP lounge access that normally did not. So, just want to go over what we have in the VIP lounge quickly here. The bottom floor here is everything that is available in standard, and this is going to vary depending on what your clan has available. Because I am a member of the Ferengi Commerce Authority, which of course is the best clan, we have everything. So here on the bottom floor, you'll always see the relaxing hot tub. That's a standard piece of the VIP lounge. Whereas the fortune teller and the flounder will only be available if your clan has purchased it. If you click the stairs, you can go upstairs to the top floor. All this stuff is not in standard, so we will not be talking about it today. There's a lot to go over with all these different items, and that would take a whole nother video. So we're just going to focus on the Foundry first, and then we'll talk about the fortune teller. The clan Foundry has been around for a little over a year or so, and if you go to the Foundry, you're going to have a lot of different items here that you could choose from. Each of these, you can only fabricate one item total per day, but each of these is going to disappear at rollover, and they each have different effects. And above that, you can see the stock of fish. Each of these types of fish is what's going to be used to fabricate a Foundry item. And then it will show you the good fishing spots for today for each of those types of fish. These fishing spots are going to change each day. They're not going to always be the same. And sometimes there are going to be places that you may not have access to. For example, today tuna is in the Thunderdome, which you would have to be a gnome sign in order to have access to. So if we don't have anybody who's a gnome sign, we're not going to be getting any fish from that area today. So hopefully we have a good enough stock. And then other fish will go from places like the Ice Hotel that you have to have an elemental plane ticket for. It does have a link here to see the top fisher people. You can see for today. You can go for last 7 days, last 30 days, or all time. And that can be kind of fun if you want to do some contests to maybe see who can keep the Foundry stocked. And that's a really long list. All right, so let's just go over the items briefly. The two things that are going to be of most interest to the majority of players is going to be the fish hatchet and the clarinet. The fish hatchet gives you a pretty significant boost to muscle, plus 100%, plus 50 to weapon damage, and plus 5 to familiar weight. And it also drops your combat encounters by about 10%, depending on what you're at already. So that can be a pretty significant boost to muscle on day one when you're a muscle class. And I'll just show you real quick here what happens when you fabricate it. You're going to see fish hatchet, equip, and use. What does the use link do? Well, let's click on it and I'll show you. When you click on it, you get 5 planks and 5 fasteners. That's going to help you with the Orc Chasm. Now let's go over to the Foundry with this other character of mine real quickly here. And I'll show you what happens when you do the clarinet. Fabricate that, you'll see equip and drain spit. So if you drain the spit, you'll get 10 white pixels. That can help you out with getting the digital key and can be pretty useful on its own, because if you look at the clarinet, you have Moxie plus 100%, range damage plus 50, minus 3 MP to use skills rather than a familiar weight buff. And then, of course, it also makes monsters much less attracted to you. It's negative 10%, just like the fish hatchet. So that's going to be really useful to Moxie-based classes, whereas the fish hatchet's going to be better for muscle classes in general. The other items we have are just going to be pieces of clothing. And of those, the cod piece is one that's going to also have a link on there besides the equip link. For the cod piece, it'll say ring out, and if you ring it out, you'll get some bubbling crude, which can be helpful for making a jar of oil. In general, that's not going to be quite as useful for speed when you're sending as getting the bridge materials from the fish hatchet or the pixels from the clarinet. The cod piece also has a pretty good buff. This one's the one's geared toward mysticality, so it's plus 100% to mysticality, plus 100 to maximum MP, and then increased spell damage. In contrast to the hatchet and the clarinet, this one makes monsters more attracted to you. It's one of the only items in the Foundry that does that, so that can be helpful for you if you don't have any skills that help with the monster encounter to make it positive for things like trying to find the lobster frogman or finding the ninja snowman assassin, things of that nature. The codpiece is an accessory, so it's not a weapon like the other two. Then we have the tunic, which is a shirt, so you'll need torso awareness. That's going to give you a slightly milder buff to muscle, not as significant as the fish hatchet, only 50%. And then plus 25 to monster level, which can be helpful if you don't have very many monster level modifiers like the Aria, Pride of the Puffin, or Drescher's Annoying Noise, or access to things like the Love Tunnel, Asden Martin, or what have you. This one's also going to make monsters more attracted to you. And the only other one that does that is the Carpy here, which is a back item. And that one's kind of like a mini version of the codpiece as well. It's going to give you a plus 50 instead of plus 100 to mysticality. Regenerate 5 to 10 MP per adventure, which is pretty nice. Plus 50% meat from monsters, and of course monsters are more attracted to you. The other item we have are the Troutzers. These are pants. These ones are pretty nice. Again, it's like a mini version of the Moxie buff, only 50%, but it also gives you a plus 50% pickpocket chance. That's only going to apply if you can pickpocket, just in case you're wondering. And then it gives you prismatic damage of plus 11 to each element, which is pretty nice. And then a significant boost to elemental resistance. It's plus 5. That is usually enough to deal with most of the quests. You can go to the Icy Peak with that. You don't have to worry about Stench in Guano Junction. And it would help you out quite a bit in Abu Peak. So that could be helpful if you don't have permed passives or other ways to get elemental resistance. And of course the 50% pickpocket chance can be pretty helpful if you are a Moxie class. And it is power of 200 for the pants too, so that's pretty good. In general though, you're going to want to stick to the clarinet or the fish hatchet. And just remember, each of these items disappears at the end of the day. You can only make one item each day, so you need to pick wisely. And make sure you always hit that link to either use, drain spit, or ring out when you do these. So, moving on. Here, the other item that we have here, the new one, is the Fortune Teller. It is Madame Zatara's relationship Fortune Teller. And this gives you a few options here. You can consult about your relationship with a clanmate 3 times a day. And basically what that does is you put in the name of the clanmate that you want to do the consult with, and then you pick a favorite food, a favorite character, and a favorite word. It's going to compare with what the clanmate answers, and it's going to judge your compatibility for each of these sections based on that. So you can either have high compatibility or low compatibility, and that's going to affect what item you get as a result. So for the first consult, it's going to mainly only really care about the food, what you put for that. For the second consult, it's going to base it on your favorite character, and for the third, it's going to go on the favorite word. And to get high compatibility, you need to choose for foods items that are generally considered pairs, like burger and fries, salt and pepper. We're going to go with burger. And then for the second consult, and you could do the same answers for each, but it's only going to base it on either the first, second, or third choice, depending on which consult it is. So for the second one, the favorite character, it's going to be something that it wants it to be a duo, any kind of duo. Batman and Robin is an easy one. And for the third section here, favorite word, it's looking for linguistic pairs. in order to get high compatibility. So anything that's in a linguistic pair, like null and void, thick and thin, so on and so forth, we're going to do thick, and we're going to consult. And if you're a member of the Ferengi Commerce Authority, of course, we have bots that one of our founders, Don, has set up. We have HeartBot and OdeBot and some of the farmer bots, and those bots are programmed to respond with the high compatibility answers to Burger, Batman, and Thick. So you can always send one to them if you're in our clan. And let me just go over here and respond and show you. So we picked Burger, and the pair for that is going to be Fries for high compatibility. Batman's partner, of course, is Robin, and then the pair to go with Thick is going to be Thin. We'll submit that, and then we'll go over here and we'll see we got a new message. And when we check that, we'll see what we got. We got dining compatibility of 96%, so we have high compatibility for that. That's going to result in us getting the high compatibility item for the first consult, which is basically a chat type effect. This time we got personal graffiti kit, and it's usable on yourself or others. I haven't used that one yet, so I actually don't know what it does. Now, if we do low compatibility, so this time we'll just put whatever. And then we'll just respond with random nonsense, and we'll get a different result. And actually, let's just go with the same thing we were doing. All right, so we head back over here, and we should get a message, and it's going to be a low compatibility. Dining compatibility is only 40%, so we get the Swedish massage fish. This is going to vary. It's going to be, there's different foods, potions or boozes you can get when you're not compatible. And those could be kind of useful, so that could be helpful sometimes in a hardcore run, for example, to purposefully do low compatibility for some of these. All right, so let's do another one. And we'll do the same Burger, Batman, and Thick. We'll head over here, and we'll respond with the high compatibility answers. Fries, Robin, and Thin. We'll head on back over here. And now for the second consult, when you get high compatibility, you get these mysterious boxes. Nobody knows what the mysterious box can do yet. If you click on it, you'll see it says, this green box says, do not open until late February. Curious. And it can't be discarded. So, not sure what those do yet, but we'll find out pretty soon. Let's do the low compatibility for the second consult. So we're going to go back over here, and we're going to pick a clanmate, and we'll just stick with those answers, and then we're going to respond. Let's do Burger, Batman, and Thick. And then we'll go over here and check our messages, and we get the Fabiation. It's a potion that does +5 to muscle, +10 to weapon damage for 20 adventures. Not too impressive, but it's better than not having a potion, I guess. All right, let's do our last consult for high compatibility. And let's go ahead and respond to it. We're going to do the same Fries, Robin, and Thin. Head back over here, check our messages, and we get a piece of the psychic gear. We get the psychic's amulet. So for the third consult, whenever you have high compatibility, you're always going to get a piece of the psychic gear. And these all do different things. And the whole outfit does a +10% chance of spell critical hit, which isn't crazy, but it's something. This accessory is actually not too bad. Slight resistance to all elements, spell damage +10. There's the pants, I believe, are the ones that give PvP fights at rollover, and then I think the offhand item is the one that gives you plus adventures. So those could be useful in a hardcore run as well, to get those rollover adventures. So let's go and do the low compatibility for the third item. And we're going to just respond. Submit. And let's check our messages. And we get a piece of the genie gear. So if you have low compatibility for the third consult, you get a piece of the genie's gear. There are 4 items for that as well. And they each have different effects. If you have the full outfit, you get a plus 5% chance of critical hit. And of course, with the psychic gear and the genie gear, there are new tattoos for those as well. So other than those results, you also have an unknown chance of getting a skill book. And that skill book seems to vary depending on what class you are when you receive it. So we don't know too much about those yet. They have the details in the wiki of what they do. I know one of them you can get rhinestones, a certain amount of rhinestones per day that give you different effects. But so far we don't know if it's just totally random, just a rare chance of getting those skill books or what. So aside from that, you also have the option to do one consult with any of these NPCs each day. For ascension purposes, the most useful on day 1 is going to be these heads of the guilds. Gunther for the Lord of the Smackdown. He's the muscle class guild master, and if you do a consult with him, do whatever you want, you're going to get this effect, Gunther then now, and that gives you plus 5 muscle stats per fight, muscle plus 100%, and maximum HP of plus 50%. If you pair that with the fish hatchet, you're looking at plus 200% muscle from turn 1. That's going to help you survive monster level early on. And those plus 5 muscle stats per fight are nothing to shake a stick at. If you combine that with something like the garbage shirt, lobotomy, things like that, and maybe like a volley type familiar that's buffed with puzzle champ effect, something like that, you can power level pretty quickly early on. Let me show you what we get from the other ones. As you can guess, it's going to be similar, just vary based on the main stat of that guild. So Gorgonzola is the mysticality dude. So if we consult that way, we get plus 5 mysticality stats per fight. Mysticality plus 100%, maximum MP plus 50. You also have Hank and Susie and the Meatsmith, and they have various effects as well that I actually don't recall right offhand at the moment. I think Susie does a buff to familiar experience or familiar weight. Other than that, that's all you have there for a fortune teller. Kind of surprised that they didn't do one of the foods as being like Zatarans, that rice stuff, since that would go with the name of Madame Zatara. But that's it for what you can do there. You also have the deluxe Mr. Claw skill crane game. That thing, you can visit each day to do a little crane playing, and you can get different like gift items to put in your display case. If you use Mafia will automatically do the skill crane game for you, and sometimes you'll get some decent stuff. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. Your main pieces of interest here is going to be the Floundry and Fortune Teller, and the relaxing hot tub is pretty nice too. That is 5 free rests per day in the hot tub, which will restore all your HP and remove various negative effects like being poisoned or thrice cursed. So it's a good place to take a dip in after you finish doing the Pygmy Shaman in the apartment building. So that's it for the February 2018 Item of the Month review. Pretty decent little game here. If your clan doesn't have it, maybe you should join a better clan, like the Ferengi Commerce Authority, for example. If anybody knows exactly what the formula is to get those books, other than it being a random rare chance, let me know in the comments. We're all dying to find out. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.